Hey, hi everyone, welcome back. So, guys, as part of this session, we are going to talk about radio buttons. In order to deal with these radio buttons, the method that we need to use here is a check. In Playwright, the common method that can be used on both the radio buttons and the checkboxes itself is a checked itself. Okay, the method that we are going to use itself is a check. So if you look at an example for this particular radio button, so this is the best example for that. So among all these options, if you look at it, moderate is selected by default, and I was able to select only one option from this particular radio buttons, right? All these radio buttons, though we have a multiple options, only one option will be selected. In order to work on this particular one, if you look at this documentation again, so here basically this method can be used with type as a checkbox, type as a radio, or role as a checkbox. Okay, type if you have a checkbox, or if you have a type radio button, or if you have a role checkbox. On all these things, this particular check command can be used. Okay, perfectly all right. And if you look at the example they have a given it by using get by label. Okay, they have a given it by using a label. But we have a three different options to select this particular, we have a three different options to select this particular radio button. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now here is, okay, I just created a simple structure for me basically. Okay, and here handle radio buttons. Okay, handle radio buttons. Perfectly all right. I just created a program. And as part of this particular program, so what I'm gonna list down here is there are three ways to handle this particular radio button. So the first one is get by label. The second one is get by role, and the third one is a locator. Okay, automatically, whenever I was trying to write it down, my copilot is prompting me these suggestions. Let me click an escape. So I just want to see all these three options. So let's come back to the same bing.com application. And here, the label I can see here is a strict. Okay, so directly come here, await page dot get by label, and I'm using strict dot a check. That's it, guys. I was just using a strict dot a check. Perfectly all right. And the second one out over there is a get by role. For radio button, the role we need to specify followed by the name that we need to specify. Okay, the role along with that particular name we need to specify that. Okay, so what we are gonna do right now here is, okay, await. Okay, let's come back here. Await. So this time page dot get by role. I want to select this particular role, and automatically my copilot is prompting me these suggestions. Buddy, you can use this one. Simply press a tab. Okay, this time, guys, I don't want to go with my strict, as whenever the application got loaded, a moderate is selected from where we changed it to switch strict. Now let us change back to moderate. So here I'm changing it to moderate. Perfect. And the locator. So let's come back here. Right click on this off inspect, and I have a notice that it does has an ID. And if you look at the playwright locators, whenever any object is having an ID, you can use a hash, right? So here, what I'm gonna do right now, await. Okay. So here, await page dot locator, and I know ID hash should be given followed by a check. That's it. I have just used it. So this one will check that strict basically, and this one will be selecting moderate, and this one will be selecting off. So let me load my terminal and let me try to run this particular program and check it out whether it is performing these operations or not. Yes. So now let me press a step over. Okay, the strict got a highlighted using the label and it got a selected, and now moderate got a highlighted and it got a selected using that, and off got a highlighted using a ID and it performed that particular operation. So there are three different ways you can handle this among all those three that we have studied these things. Okay, perfectly all right. So Surendra, you are just selecting this one. Don't we have any options to validate their status, whether it is checked or not? Yes, of course, we have those assertions also. Let me try to put those assertions here. So here, what I'm gonna do right now, let me add those assertions. Await page dot get by label. Okay, so go with the moderate, whichever it might be. My copilot has prompted that, hence I have accepted it to be. Okay, so here I'm just checking to be checked. So the meaning of this particular one is it should be checked, but this should be in an expected, then only it will work. So here I'm changing it to first of all, we need to add an await, right? Await, expect, and here inside this, just passed it, and I was specifying that to be checked. Okay, I'm asking it to be checked. So just to make sure that whether it is checked or not. And additionally, what we can do here is on this particular element itself, to be checked. Okay, or okay, so as it is on this particular element, we can use an is checked method. Is checked will be returning whether it is checked or not, and then the output you are validating with the truthy, to be truthy, which means this output should be true. Okay, this output should be true. That's what we are asking it to do. Okay, that's what we are asking it to do basically. If you clearly observe, we are checking this strict right now, and you are checking this moderate. For now, for the first assertion, I will be checking this strict, and the second assertion, I'm just checking with this moderate. And here, instead of to be truthy, I was just changing it to, okay, to be falsy. Okay, to be falsy basically, which means it's not checked. The condition should be a false outcome. Perfectly all right. Let me try to run this program and check it out how exactly these assertions are gonna work out. So it's selecting that particular strict, that's fine. And it's checking whether the strict is validated or not. Of course, the condition is a true. Now it come to the moderate, and this condition is a false basically. The reason why the moderate itself is a false here is moderate is not a checked. So the expect from this particular one is a false, but you are comparing with the truthy, hence this will fail. So if I comment this particular one and if I run this to be falsy, and when I execute it, automatically my script will execute successfully. Let me rerun it. Let me rerun it and let's have a look into that. So I'm just executing that. The strict got a check now, and the strict condition is a true, and a moderate it's checking whether it is checked or not. It's false, hence it will return a true, and the script execution got executed successfully. Okay guys, so the point out over here is to be checked is directly used, okay, to check whether that particular element is checked or not. And additionally, you can also use the is checked. Basically it will be returning whether it is checked or not, and you can use to be falsy or to be truthy based on the condition, and you can validate it. Okay, perfectly all right. So this is the way how exactly we can handle the radio buttons, guys. Okay, see you again in the next lecture. Thank you. Bye bye.